بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, it's narrated from him that he was of the opinion that it's makruh and dislike, not the best option to reside in Makkah Mukarramah, also Medina Munawwara. Not exactly sure the quotation. And his reason behind of this was that when you become very familiar with something, you become very common, very used to something, then automatically what happens from your heart, the azama goes out of this. So when you go for 1 week, or you go for 5 days, you go for 3 days, you think, I've got 3 days here. As much as I can do, I want to do. People who go for a long time, after a while they get burnt out and spend a lot of time in the shops, a lot of time in the markets, a lot of time this. People go very often and they don't have this, they haven't really built up the love of the Haramain in their hearts, understanding its value. Then you start wasting a lot of time and it becomes like a holiday almost. Alternative to going to bed is go Makkah, Medina instead. So he's saying that, inside a person's heart, if you don't really have the adama, after a while you get exposed. Yes? So you can go there person goes there, he's only got 3 days there, so in 3 days he wouldn't get bored. He just do his stuff and come back. So from this we understand that sometimes in our hearts, we have these qualities, but they don't become exposed. Yes? So really you don't have that much reverence for Makkah, which can allow you to stay there and revere Makkah. But if you stay for 2-3 days, you'll get away with it. 5 days, 10 days, 15 days, and just come back. If you stay there, eventually you're going to end up. Many of you have spoken to taxi drivers, people who live there. When's the last time you've been in Haram? I don't know. Can't remember. Years, 10 years, 15 years. Happens. They just don't go because it's there. I'll go whatever I want to. Ask people who live in Barbados how often go to the beach. So some parents think, I haven't got a chance, I don't want to get a chance, too busy. Yes? And then the tourists, what do? People from England, America, they come straight from the beach to the airport. Like seriously. You see them putting on their clothes at the beach. And my father would say they go to the beach for tawafi with that. Yeah, so they go to the beach every day. And then the last time before they come and check in, for them the flights to America and England are about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. They go for the tawafi with that to do big trip to the beaches. Yes? So when you now have something you value it, but really after a while you get bored of it. So sometimes we look and ponder upon ourselves. We have certain qualities in our hearts. The only grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they haven't been exposed. They haven't been exposed. That's why, as Mana was mentioning, it's very important to us to take hisab of ourselves, muhasab of ourselves, accountability of ourselves. Because what can happen, one time could come that it becomes exposed. I was telling the students, I know it's a bit of an extreme example, but I was thinking, is there really much difference between us and shaitan? Is there much difference between us and Firawn and Qarun? Because shaitan, he was constantly seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he was in the heavens, he was with the malaika. So all of these things was normal for him. No? So you say, you live in Makkah. The Kaaba is in front of you. You got Medina Munawwara, the Prophet's grave is here, Sahaba's house is here. It's like really great. How can you do this in Makkah? How can you do this in Medina? But he's living all the time, it's normal. So it became normal. And the pride he had inside of him, then when a command came which he didn't like, what did he do? He rebelled. So we have the same thing inside of us as well. We have our parents are really kind to us. They look after us, provide for us. There's something that we don't like, what do? We rebel. We become disrespectful. We talk back. So how could shaitan talk back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And the khayru min like. So if you were in the same position, would we be any different? A person we don't like, what do you say? No, you say very rude words. No? So if you were in that position, what would happen? Similarly, we see other things. So really, we may have these qualities inside of us, but Allah has just been kind enough to not put us in this situation where it becomes exposed. So whatever you're in right now, if you think, I'm a hafiz of the Quran, I'm an alim, I'm a fulan, you should just be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not really put you in a position where this blown up. If not, if it blows up, you would never see the end of it. You become just like Firawn. No? So if, for example, say as a teacher in class, you have 5 students in your class, and you oppress somebody, one student, because you got that one authority, and you oppress him enough that you get away with it. What was it to say that if you were in Firawn's position, you would oppress the people just as much that you would get away with it? No? Fine? Qarun, he had wealth. They say, how could Qarun, even if you look in Surah Kahf, what do you say? وَمَا أَنْسَانِهُ إِلَّا الشَّيْطَانِ. So the sahib of the fatah of Musa, what did he see? he saw a fish that was half eaten come to life and go in the ocean. What would he say? I forgot to tell you about it. How can you forget to see a fish that's half alive, is eaten half, and Allah make it miraculously come back to life, and then it goes into the ocean and leaves a tunnel in the ocean? How can you forget that? Because he's been seeing the miracles from Musa from the beginning. The asa, he's been seeing all of these different things. So he's seen them, so it's like one of the many miracles I've seen. So he forgot it. For him. So when we interact with these things, we realize, you know what? We could have, if you were in that position where we had that same thing, we would have been the same thing. Like, so you say, oh, Qarun, he rebelled against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, rebelled against Musa. Maybe if you're in the same position, you're doing the same thing. If you had wealth, don't you rebel? Don't you feel jealous of your cousins, of your uncles, of your brothers, of your family, of your classmates, schoolmates? If you have that feeling inside of you, then it is that you have a smaller skill to manifest your evil, and they have a bigger skill to manifest the evil. That's why it's very. So two things. One is you have to work on our mind. I'm saying work on our thinking, work on our heart, and try to rectify ourselves. Amala Shawitani Rahmatullah gives a very good example of this. This will keep you humble, and it should also keep you worried. He said that think of yourself, when you really ponder upon yourself, think of yourself as a match. You've got a match at the top. What can happen? You just light it, what happens? What does it do? So it gets a fire. But the only thing is that it's not been lit in yet, but it has all the capacity to be lit in. So think that, you know what, really, if you ponder upon yourselves and you think about yourselves, we have many evil qualities inside of us. It's Allah's karam, Allah's grace, Allah's favor upon us, that He hasn't allowed shaitan to light our match. If that lights up, we'll be destroyed. We'll be exposed, we'll be humiliated, we'll become exposed. All our sins will come open. Do you understand? The pride inside of us, the arrogance inside of us, the jealousy inside of us, the shahawat inside of us. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has concealed this. So two things we can do from this. Number one is, no matter wherever you are, just think that, you know what, Allah, until now Allah has kept me safe. What if one time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't safeguard me? Allah says, no, I'm going to show you, let you go. What's the hadith? لا تكلني نفسي طرفة عين. Oh Allah, even for a split second, don't leave me to my nafs, my base desires. If not, what happens? إن تكلني عن نفسي تكلني إلى ضعف وعورة وذنب وخطيئة. If you just let me go and I just, like your grace is holding me, you're holding me. If you let go of me and just like, okay, do whatever, you follow your nafs, let you go, you and your nafs, you sort it out. Your base desires, what will happen? We'll end up in sin, we'll end up in humiliation, we'll end up in disgrace. So we should always stay humble. And number two is then, we're trying to work that, so that a time doesn't come when what happens, that it becomes like this. And that gives an example, a bit like a stupid example, but something happens to dirty old men. They saw these dirty things, they look at young girls. So what really happened, when they were younger, they had the same quality inside of them. But when they were young, they know that if I do that, I look bad. But when they get older, then it will be a bit semi-senile. So what happens now? The realizing that the fact that, if I say this, it'll look bad, that goes away from their minds. Are you following? So you know, like when you're younger, you think, if I say this, it's going to be disrespectful. If I say this, I get caught out. They'll call me a pervert. When you get older, that thinking that goes away, and what happens? The truth comes out. That's why, even in time of death, you know what's going to happen. The truth is inside of us. What's going to happen? It'll come out. That's why it's very, very important to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Stay humble. That doesn't matter what you are. You're hafiz, you're an alim, you're a qari. All of these is Allah's grace. And if Allah lets His fadl, His grace, His hidayah, for one moment He just takes it away from you, gone. So make dua that Allah keeps us safe. Allah keeps us on the sirat al-mustaqim. And along with this, work to think about yourselves, ponder upon yourselves, do muhasabah. What things do I do? Am I really proud? Am I really arrogant? Am I really argumentative? Do I talk too much? Do I have control of my desires? And then there's the open sins that we're doing, there's hidden sins that we're doing. Try to take a hisab of them, accountability to all of them, and try to rectify yourself before something get the match leaks. And then make dua that, oh, even if this inside of me, please don't ever light my match. Light my match or light my match. Don't ever light my match. Because if not, then تكلني إلى ضعف وعورة وذنب وخطيئة. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala safeguard all of us and grant us safety in His dunya and hereafter. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka.